I'm convinced that every business should have always on content marketing. And every employee inside of these businesses should also think of themselves as a content creator to a certain extent. Now, content creator, that meaning has changed a lot. It's essentially someone that is an expert in a field and either documents how they're getting results or teaches other people how to get results. And that can be done in many ways, shapes, or forms. But if businesses or even the employees do not do this, then the business is going to run into unsustainable marketing costs and, more importantly, become completely irrelevant on a cultural scale. There are two trends that are making business much harder than it's ever been in the history of the world. And part of it is because in 2016, there were 2.9 million new businesses formulated. In 2024, that number doubled to 5.4 million. And this is for a couple of reasons, but there's really never been an easier time to start a business. If you're talking about D2C and e-commerce, it's easy to source products. Now, we have this whole tariff situation going on, but sourcing from China and other countries is very, very easy thanks to the internet. And then on the technical side of things, it's easier than ever to build technology thanks to tools like AI and vibe coding. It's never been easier to build and compete in the world of technology. Now, at the same time, it's never been harder to grow a business because with less of a moat in terms of physical or digital products comes a lot more competition for scaling those businesses. And when there's more competition, there's less room at the table to eat. And if there's less room at the table to eat, there's less food to go around. Basically, what I'm saying is it's harder to make money with your business than it has ever been before. And so in this video, I want to break down 3 ways that you can actually build a moat so that people cannot compete with you. And the first one is pretty straightforward. It's a deep technical moat or a deep product moat. So maybe you've built a certain type of code or developed some type of technical product that has data that no one else can compete with. And it doesn't matter how smart they are or how brilliant they are at building technology. They don't have your data or they don't have your specific code, whatever it is, and you've built a moat around your product. The second one is, you're able to source some very unique product formulation, some specific material that's very difficult for other businesses to get their hands on. And so this would be the example of a moat that is impenetrable. And this is really the holy grail of business. But like I just said, these are becoming farther and further in between. And it's becoming more difficult than ever to recognize and have those moats. Now, the second moat is brand. A brand is basically the way that a business/company looks at the world. It waterfalls all the way down from visual identity to sales calls and even user experience. Brand is a cohesive, holistic unit of a business. It's never been more important to develop a strong brand because, like I just said, anyone can come in and compete. So are you going to go with one of the 10 competitors, or are you going to go with the business that you trust, that has earned your trust for multiple different reasons? And so the third is customer obsession, because when I look at the fastest growing businesses of the last 50 years, everything from cars to Amazon to Apple, whatever the case is, the one thing that they have in common is an obsession with their customers' pain points, and how to solve them better and more efficiently than anyone else. But that brings me all the way back to content, because content has all 3 of these aspects in one. But content is a very broad term that's tossed around a little too much in my opinion. So let's define what content actually is. Content is selfless. It's not about getting a ton of views. It's not about the attention being on you. It's about serving and providing a ton of value up front. Especially think of the world of B2B, content is so dry and boring. I mean, it'll literally bore you to tears if you watch it. B2C is a little bit more engaging and more interactive, but at the end of the day, your content, it must be selfless. When people are getting on social media, they want to be entertained. They want to know what's in it for them, not why should I pay attention to you? What's in it for me? Second type of content is trust and thought leadership. So, you started your business, or you're a high-level employee at whatever company you're at, and you have a thing or things that you're an expert at. Well, you have insights that other people don't have due to your business or your job. You're getting insights every single day. And what if you extracted those insights in the same way that I'm doing right now and just putting it into video content? Because I can tell you from experience, people will see that and they will book calls with you. They will hire you. It does nothing but help grow your personal career or your business. This essentially is going to catch attention, and it's going to build trust that you are an expert. Okay, so maybe you agree with me thus far, but the question is, okay, now what? I don't have the time to do this. How do I go about creating some type of content strategy, either for my business or for myself in my job, that is going to be relevant and actually get results? And I need to just put a quick caveat out there. Maybe you run a B2C brand and UGC content is a huge way for you to grow the business. I'm not talking about external ways to create content right now. I'm talking about either from the business owner or for a high-level employee to create content for themselves. So the first way would be to create a 60-minute interview with someone that is just kick-ass inside of the business. Once again, the founder, a high-level executive, a high-level employee. But this is basically just laying out some strategies that you have used and are effective that your ICP would love. So your ICP, your ideal customer profile. So what you're doing is you're basically just front loading this video with a ton of value so that people can see it. And then from there, what they want to do is they want to learn more about how they can get this strategy to work. And so they book a call with you or they purchase your product or, whatever your offer actually is. So a 60-minute interview with the subject matter expert, whether it's yourself or someone else in the organization, is a great way to extract content. Next thing you can do is you can take that interview and you can extract it into a 1,000-word playbook for your website. So you can email gate this playbook so that you can drive leads easily and effectively. And then you can run ads or create content and drive it to the landing page of this gated playbook. And then you're collecting leads on autopilot because there's a ton of value behind this playbook and people want access to it. So naturally, they're going to give you their email address. And then once they do, they're giving you permission to reach out to them to sell to them. Step 3 is really quite easy. You're learning every single day and every single week. And you are able to transfer that knowledge into a once-a-week email newsletter to these leads that come in. And slowly but surely, you become a thought leader in your space. You become a trusted resource in your space for your ideal customers. These don't have to be super long emails, just quick, actionable, to the point. I know for me, I would prefer a short email with value than some long, drawn-out 10,000-word email. And from there, you really just create a flywheel cycle. So you have this opt-in created, and what you want to do is you want to turn all of this content you've been creating into short form and long form content, and you just drive it all to the website. And it's just like this flywheel effect. It keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And eventually, one part feeds the other. So the content feeds the leads feed the customers feed the new edits and graphics that you can put in your video, and so on until it gets to a point where you've evolved so much it's hard to even recognize. After 3, 6, 9 months, you're going to get a lot of data behind what types of content perform the best, what types of opt-ins create the highest paying customers, and so on and so forth. I am so convinced that this is the future of business because for probably 20 years, people were relying on blog posts. They were relying on SEO to just print customers like magic. And it was such an easy way to grow a business. I'm pissed that I didn't have a business during that era. But now you have to play the game that we're in. And the game that we're in is content creation, specifically video content. And it's going to be that way for a long time. And even when VR comes around, it's going to be video content. And so you have to think about, I'm stepping into this new era. SEO is not effective like it once was. What can I do to compete? And in my opinion, whether you're an employee that wants to just level up your career or you're a business owner that wants to take your business to the next level, it's all about the content. But you have to figure out what works for you. And so if you're struggling to figure out what works for you, whether you're an employee or a business, book a call with me. I'll give you a free audit for whatever it is and give you a lot of feedback. And I think that my recommendation to you is to start creating more content for your business today. And I'm talking thought leadership content. I'm talking expert interview content. Create your flywheel and watch what it does to your business.